Good afternoon, everybody. David Shuster here on Take Action News, We Act Radio. So glad to have you with us on the first weekend in February. As you can tell, I've got a little bit of a frog in my throat, so Daniel Marins is going to be subbing in for me through part of this show. But in any case, welcome, everybody. So glad to have you with us on 1480 AM Washington, D.C., WPWC. Also on Take Action News TV, our YouTube channel, weactradio.com, takeactionnews.com. Big news this week from the Department of Agriculture. Very big news. The Department of Agriculture, based on a law passed in Congress a few years ago, has come out with new regulations for what schools can have in their vending machines. Salty snacks like potato chips and candy and sodas, those must now be replaced by baked chips. Yes, baked chips, fruity drinks that are low on sugar, and diet sodas. And oh, by the way, in the school cafeteria, if a school is serving right now, say, pizza and nachos, those foods must be replaced by fruit cups, yes, fruit cups, and yogurt. Now, on a related story, all of this, of course, is intended to try to cut down on childhood obesity. And we learned just this week about the dangers of people who are obscenely obese, obsessed with food, and not only some of the physical problems, but some of the behavioral problems they're going to have. The Philadelphia Inquirer reported this week that Bill Wingador Simmons, the five-time winner of the Wing Bowl, which is a chicken wing eating contest, was indicted on various cocaine possession and distribution charges just one day before the famous Wing Bowl. Wingador is a champion, a five-time champion. In fact, back in 2005, he gnawed through 162 chicken wings. That's amazing. 162 chicken wings. But apparently, he had a voracious appetite for all sorts of things. He was busted on cocaine charges last summer. He was busted again this past week. So Wingador will not be competing in the Wing Bowl. And you may be thinking, what on earth is the Wing Bowl? Well, the Wing Bowl it's a Philadelphia tradition now for several years, and it's intended as a way to help mostly men blow off steam and boredom before the Super Bowl. Daniel Marins, you're from New Jersey, where this Wingador was indicted just this past week. 162 chicken wings. That's amazing.
David, only the strong survive in New Jersey, and that's why we're proud. I looked at that Wingador guy, and am I wrong? But he's a dead ringer for Chris Christie, if I'm not mistaken. We have insatiable appetites in New Jersey, and we're not afraid to hold back. I sometimes think that New Jersey is its own form of cocaine, and that's why I'm surprised that Wingador needed the extra boost there.
I hear you on the comparison with Chris Christie. I think, in fact, if Chris Christie had blonde hair, as Wingador does, and by the way, folks, if you are on our YouTube channel, you can now see, I think we've got a picture of Wingador that we're putting up. You can see that the guy's got blonde hair, and look, anybody who looks at this is going to say, oh my God, sure, of course Wingador was going to have some behavioral problems. I mean, anybody who's going through 162 chicken wings in one sitting is going to have some sort of issues, and it turns out, well, in fact, there he is. There's the picture on our website now. Wingador. Of course it's got, I don't think it's such a stretch, Rich Webster, to imagine that this guy was perhaps having some drug issues, just based on his incredible appetite for chicken wings.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why. I guess from what I understand from competitive eating, it's actually incredibly expensive in order to eat the amount of calories that you need to every day in order to maintain your competitive eating lifestyle. There's a documentary about a famous Japanese competitive eater, and he would go in and basically eat the entire restaurant at a sushi restaurant, and if they weren't covering the bill, it would be $500 to $1,000.
Well, to bring this back around to the story we started with, and that is these new rules of the Department of Agriculture. We like to sort of tie in these stories because to take action. What can you do to take action? The fact of the matter is, the Department of Agriculture now has a public comment period. So if you or your kids, who I guarantee are pretty versatile on the computer, want to weigh in with these new proposed rules by the Department of Agriculture, you just go to their website, you respond to the Department of Agriculture, and then they're required to officially acknowledge that you have responded to them, that you've written to them. So it's a great opportunity. If you like the idea of your kids having to eat yogurt and fruit cup in the cafeteria instead of pizza and nachos, you can go in and say, yes, go for it, Department of Agriculture. If you're a kid out there, if you're a teenager and you're like, what? They're going to take away my nachos in the school cafeteria? Well, you can also weigh in. But unless you're 18 and able to vote, I'm not sure that the Department of Agriculture may necessarily take you so seriously. But in any case, it's a great opportunity. And again, we're all about bringing you the news and what you can do to influence outcomes. We have a great show that's coming up over the next 3 hours. We're going to be talking about what happened this week in terms of the bipartisan agreement for immigration reform and what the principles are that they agreed upon and what they did not agree upon. And then also just an amazing reaction from the conservative right in the media, the conservative media, to what immigration reform may do. Rush Limbaugh had an amazing thing that he said this week. We'll go through some of that. We'll also talk about the Republicans in retreat on their battle over the budget and their threat to shut down the government. They're now backing away from that. We'll talk with Sally Cohn, who's a contributor over at Fox News, a Democratic contributor. In our second hour, a lot to do with foreign policy, and also the nomination of Chuck Hagel to be Secretary of Defense. But we're going to pause it about 5 or 6 seconds, let our syndicated stations catch up with us. You're listening and you're watching the Take Action News on We Act Radio.